Hi Scream Team, and welcome to Autopsy of a Scream. So this week's episode of MTV Scream had some busy things happening. Alright, what happened was that at the end of the last episode we had Brooke and Stavo together. Stavo wound up staying over at Brooke's house, and his dad totally figured out that he wasn't home. He tried to get a hold of him, couldn't get a hold of him at all. But during everybody's overnight time, Emma wound up having a sleepwalking nightmare. She's apparently had this nightmare before. She dreams that she's like in her home, and she winds up stabbing people. And in this dream, she stabbed Audrey, Noah, and Kieran. And then she woke up, or in the dream, it always ends with her having blood on her hands. Now, in the morning, when she tells Kieran what happened, she says, normally the dream just ends, but this time I woke up in my kitchen holding a knife, and like her mom had to wake her up. So she literally sleepwalked. I never know how to make that word past tense. But she apparently was going through the motions of killing people while she was asleep, which is never a good sign. Emma and Kieran still decide to go to school, even though they could totally skip because of the craziness that happened at the carnival. They go, Audrey tries to talk to Emma, and Emma is irate. But then Emma shares that she got the audio file in an email, which means someone had to send it to her, and Audrey's like, Noah is unhackable, like, how, who, it had to, like, Noah, I think it was you, why would you send it to her? And Noah's like, I didn't do that, like, I wouldn't do that to you. And he's like, I didn't think she would blow up like this. And Audrey's like, I thought something like this might happen. I'm not crazy. So she's trying to figure out how to get Emma to forgive her, but she and Noah are also trying to figure out who the heck sent that audio file. So the two of them are trying to figure it out. But while that's going on, Emma gets into her locker at school after this huge scene with Audrey where she shoves her up against a locker, and she finds a lock of hair holding one of Lane's tapes. Lang, the psychologist, whose name I for some strange reason keep forgetting. I don't know why either. But she finds the tape and she listens to it, and it's the tape from the night that she fell down the stairs. Well, was pushed down the stairs. So they go to visit the psychology teacher in the hospital, and when she sees Emma, she freaks out, and Emma has no idea why, and it turns out, like, the killer sent her something in the hospital, and Emma has no idea, but she knows that they're being played. They go to the teacher's house to, like, check it out, and they find a photo that's upside down. That photo proves that the psychology teacher knew Piper, which is not good, and would explain why she was so obsessed with Emma and everybody. They then call Noah to ask if he knows anything, because both women, when they were kids, went to the same school, and the school that they went to apparently used to be like, it was an orphanage, and it got shut down because of like terrible stuff, and then it was turned into like an actual school, and they have no idea. Like, bad things could have happened, you never know, they don't know. They couldn't really talk to the teacher because of the yelling and stuff. So they have that. Noah and Audrey are investigating. I feel like I said Zoe earlier, but I meant to say Audrey if I said Zoe. Noah and Audrey are trying to figure out who sent that email. He invites Zoe over to try and help them, and Audrey's like, well, she sent it. Like, if she's the only one who's been in here, she had to have sent it. They go through this huge hacking, like, hack back thing, and the email that's connected to the email that Emma got, turns out, is actually connected to Zoe. And Zoe's like, I didn't do it. Like, why would I do it? I didn't. And Audrey's like, why would you believe her? Because Noah's like, okay, I believe her. She's telling the truth. Audrey is super mad, but she storms off to go fix the relationship issues with Emma if she can. Then, because they're finally alone, Noah and Zoe finally have sex. And it's a lot of sex in a lot of places that are not a bed, oddly enough. And then when they're done, they build a fort in his bed. But while they're in the fort, Noah realizes that he's been bugged because the killer has known what's going on this whole time, and it's the bug, it's the feed from the storage unit that even though they haven't been able to see anything, they've totally heard everything that's happened in there. So they would have been able to hear what Audrey said without sending, like without using Noah's actual audio file. So that helps Zoe, because I have been thinking Zoe is possibly the killer because of just how normal she is, like this whole time. I don't know, I still a little worried. I'm still a little worried, especially because Noah and Zoe had sex. And in the first Scream movie, Sydney has sex with her boyfriend, and if you've seen those movies, you know what's up with her boyfriend. I'm just saying. Like, it still makes me leery. Audrey is alone and is trying to figure out how to, like, apologize to Emma, but she doesn't know how. And she's, like, writing this letter and failing, and then she gets a phone call from the killer, who says that she has to go save Noah because he's not a virgin anymore. And you know what happens to people who aren't virgins in horror movies. So she rushes off to this party that apparently everyone thinks she and Emma are throwing together. It's a face the mask party, so everyone's wearing masks. It's kind of creepy. Yeah, it's creepy. And Haley, yes, her name is Haley, the girl who tried to prank Audrey at the beginning of the season, she's behind all of this with a special friend. So that's all going on, but also Brooke finds out from Stavo, who went to the police station and looked at his dad's stuff. He got text messages, or photos of text messages from Brooke's dad and wow, I'm terrible at names. Jake! Oh my gosh. Between Brooke's dad and Jake. And it shows that he was gonna have Jake burn down his, like, housing developments on the day he died. So Brooke leaves. Like, she does not want to deal with her dad. She's so mad. She goes to hide out somewhere. She says it's like her mom's special place. So it's like a hotel room, but it's really fancy. So I don't know where it's at exactly. But at the party, we see Stavo there briefly, which is ominous. Yeah. So in order to shut down the party, Zoe says they should turn off the lights and the music. So she and Noah go to do that, and Kieran goes to call the sheriff to get him to shut the party down and get him there. And then we see Haley, and killer, she knows who the killer is. She sees the killer's face, which would mean it's not Zoe. The only person who hasn't been in the episode is Eli, but I just don't know. I feel like there's, oh my goodness, I feel like there's two killers. Like, there has to be two killers to make this work, because it just seems like there needs to be two people, just to get all of it to work. In the first Scream movie, there are two people, so my theory is plausible. There are two killers, like one who's doing most of the killing and one that's, like, helping out. But we don't know. We do see her about to go down on someone until she gets killed by that someone. So seriously, there's no honor among thieves and no safety amongst killers. So she is dead. The party is over. The cops show up. But before they get there, Audrey and Emma get text messages from the killer that tell them to, like, go save their respective people. Audrey is trying to save Noah, and Emma's worried about Kieran. They run to this room together, and they find Piper. Yeah. How? She's been dead for how long? Who dug her up? Found her? What happened? Why? So, Piper is somewhere, and then when the cops are investigating, they do find Haley's body. She's, like, tied. I don't think she's technically crucified, but she's, like, hung up underneath the face the mask sign, which seems like the killer was, like, taunting the fact that she believed that she'd be safe with them. Saying them. I don't know the gender of the killer. Him, them, yeah, her, no idea. Haley made it sound like it was a guy, so possibly a dude with the female helper? Maybe? I don't know. No idea. In the previews for next week, though, not good. Really not good. The sheriff thinks Brandon James is back and that this is all their fault, like something is happening with him. Then Noah goes to meet Zoe by the lake, and we see him get stabbed. Stabbed, guys. Stabbed. Which I'm not okay with. I'm so not okay with. But, in the Scream movies are know-it-all horror movie buff. Did get stabbed once and lived to make it into the sequel. So it's possible that he is okay. You make it to the sequel, but you don't make it to the trilogy. Yes, that's how that worked in those movies. So hopefully Noah is okay. Share your scream thoughts. Wow, I can't talk. I can't remember names, I can't talk. I am a mess tonight. Admittedly, it's like midnight and I had a very long day at work and I have to get up very early tomorrow, but still, you'd think my brain would be a little bit more together and less sieve-like this evening. But share your scream thoughts with me in the comments or on Twitter. If you do talk to me on Twitter, I'm at CleffNotes and use the hashtag Autopsy of a Scream. You can find me on my blog, cliffnotes.wordpress.com. I write for the Nerdy Girl Express, thenerdygirlexpress.com. I run their Snapchat sometimes. I frequently forget to take pictures because I'm not really doing anything, which is the Nerdy Girl EXP. And I post recipes on the iZombie Support Group site, iZombieSupportGroup.com. Bye guys.